You walk into what used to be a fish shop. The sign still says fish and chips in faded letters, but the menu board tells a different story. Burgers, fried chicken, spring rolls, butter chicken, and somewhere near the bottom, almost as an afterthought, fish and chips. This is what survival looks like. Fish and chips arrived in New Zealand before World War I. By the 1960s and 70s, nearly every town had a dedicated fish shop. They did one thing, and they did it well. Fresh snapper in the North Island, blue cod and gurnard in the south. Later, hoki became the standard, New Zealand's largest fishery. The fish was battered fresh that morning. The chips were hand-cut, thick, uneven. Every shop had its own recipe. Some of those shops became institutions. The Manganui Fish Shop in Northland has been trading fresh fish from the same waterfront site for over 70 years. Line-caught fish straight from the wharf. Bobby's Fresh Fish Market in Tauranga, perched on the harbour, became a destination for locals and tourists exploring the Bay of Plenty. Down in Aka-roa, the fish shop serves visitors exploring Banks Peninsula with outstanding blue cod and bay views. In Napier, Pirimai Fish Shop was voted New Zealand's best fish shop by Kiwis in 2022, praised for quality fish and homemade products. Places like the local Waiheke and League Eats earned recognition as iconic Auckland eats for fresh snapper, crisp batter, and locally sourced fish. These weren't chains. They were family businesses built slowly, sustained by consistency. Then the economics stopped working. KFC arrived in 1971, McDonald's in 1976, Chinese takeaways, Indian curry houses, pizza chains. The question changed from which fish shop to what do we feel like tonight? The pure fish shop, the one that only did fish and chips, couldn't compete on variety. So they adapted. They added burgers to the menu, fried chicken, kumara wedges, anything to stay relevant. By the 2000s, the industry had transformed. Ownership patterns shifted. Some shops stayed in families for generations. Others changed hands as older owners retired and new operators took over. With new ownership often came new menus. A shop that once served only fish and chips might add spring rolls, fried rice, or butter chicken. It made business sense. Why limit yourself to one cuisine when you could serve multiple communities, multiple tastes? But something was lost in the expansion. A fish shop that focused solely on perfecting batter and sourcing fresh fish became a takeaway juggling 10 different dishes. The expertise diluted, the focus scattered. The menu diversification changed everything. A traditional fish shop focused on one thing, perfectly fried fish and chips. The equipment, the workflow, the expertise, all optimized for that single purpose. But when you're also making burgers, fried chicken, and stir fries, something has to give. The fish becomes just another item on a crowded menu. And customers notice. Online reviews tell the story. A Bay of Islands shop in 2024. Complaints about frozen fish, poorly cooked, overpriced. A South Island University town's annual fish and chip review. Multiple shops criticised for mushy batter, greasy chips, fish that didn't taste like fish. One reviewer described it as tasting like frozen fish fingers. Another said the fish was like a chicken nugget, lacking the flakiness of fresh catch. The complaints aren't isolated. Dry fish, soggy chips, excessive batter hiding minimal fish. The quality isn't what it used to be. Part of the problem is frozen fish. As catches of preferred species declined, shops switched to cheaper alternatives. Shark marketed as lemon fish, tarakihi when quotas allowed. But many shops, especially those juggling multiple cuisines, started using frozen fillets. Pre-battered, pre-portioned, ready to drop into the fryer. It's efficient, it's consistent. It's also noticeably worse. Fresh fish has texture. It flakes cleanly. The batter crisps without becoming greasy. Frozen fish, even when fried properly, lacks that quality. It can be mushy, watery, bland. And when you're competing with a dairy or burger bar that also sells fish and chips as a side offering, the difference becomes stark. A dedicated fish shop using fresh fish can charge more and justify it. A dairy selling frozen battered fish for $5.50 can't. The economics are brutal. Fish prices climbed as stocks came under pressure. Tarakihi faced quota cuts in 2018, 2019, and 2022. By 2025, fresh fillets hit $44.90 per kilogram. Oil prices surged, Energy costs rose. A single serving of fish and chips averaged $10.41 by March 2024. From 2005 to September 2025, prices increased 154%. Small operators couldn't absorb those costs. They couldn't compete with chains buying in bulk, so they cut corners. Cheaper fish, frozen instead of fresh, smaller portions. Fish and chips remain New Zealand's top takeaway. 1.7 million Kiwis still eat them monthly. But the ritual is gone. The dedicated fish shop, the one that only did fish and chips, is disappearing. What's left are hybrid shops juggling too many menus, using frozen fish to keep costs down, and losing the quality that made the meal special in the first place. The shops that survive, places like Manganui, Bobby's, Pirimai, the ones still using fresh fish, hand-cutting chips, focusing on the craft. They're rare now. They're holding on to something, a standard, a tradition, a taste that reminds you what it used to be like when every town had a fish shop that did one thing perfectly. And when they close, something more than a business disappears, a connection to what New Zealand used to be. You walk past a fish shop, a real fish shop. The delicious fried fish and batter aroma still hits you, but the queue is shorter now, and you wonder how much longer it'll be there at all. So what do you think? Do you agree the landscape has changed for our local fish and chip shops? And why is that? Drop your comments below, and as always, stay curious.